Well, let's take you back to one of those top stories now. A motion tabled by the PAC yesterday was successful in removing Joburg City Council Speaker Vasco de Gama. Now, the motion was backed by a number of parties, including the ANC. Well, let's bring into the conversation the president of the party that tabled the motion, Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania President Mzwanele Nyhontso. Mr. Nyhontso, good morning. Good to have you with us. Appreciate your time in speaking to us. So it looks like you got what you wanted. The votes were very tight, but you got what you wanted. What's your reaction to what we've been reporting on with the changes in council?
Good morning to you and to your viewers, and thanks for having us. Yes, it is true the PAC tabled the motion. It is true that the motion succeeded, and we are very grateful that the motion has succeeded. And it goes back to what we have always been saying, that we are back as political players in this country as PAC. So the motion succeeded, the speaker is removed. That's good for us, because we've been telling people that DA is racist. They just occupy these positions in areas where African people reside, only to oppress them, only to carry on with the oppression of our people, only to remove African people in positions. It's good that the speaker has been removed and the motion is succeeded. We are grateful, and we are grateful to the PAC councillor who tabled the motion, Councillor Tebogo.
Were you 100% sure, Mr. Nyhontso, that when you went into this this motion of no confidence that you tabled, were you 100% sure that it was going to work? Because, as I mentioned, the votes were quite close, 136 to 132. How sure were you it was going to go through?
No, we're very sure. Even if it was 136 to 135, it was still we're still going to say we're grateful. Even if it was so tight, before you table all the motions like this in Parliament or Council, be it in legislature, make sure that the numbers are with you. Remember, before you table the motion and somebody else must second the motion. PAC tabled the motion, AIC seconded the motion, and then other parties voted for the motion. We were very sure.
So what happens now with leadership in the council? Who's coming in? If it was a number of parties that resulted in the ousting of de Gama, who's now, in your mind, the best person to fill that vacancy?
No, that one will be the decision of the parties who supported the motion, those who tabled the motion, those who seconded the motion, those who voted for the motion. Now we'll sit down and discuss somebody who must come and be voted in as the Speaker of Council.
Help me understand, when it came to council decisions, there were accusations that de Gama was favouring the Democratic Alliance. Are you able to give me one practical example where that actually happened that you might be able to pinpoint?
According to the briefing from our councillor that side, he's favouring the DA even in terms of chairing the meetings, even in terms of giving a time to who must speak at the council meeting, even in terms of they are just accusing him of every wrong thing that we know DA for. Anyway, these are not surprising. I'm staying in Cape Town, where DA is leading and where DA is saying is running the best government, and yet every day African child is killed in the township. Every day someone in Cape Town goes to bed without eating. Every day there are floods and people are sleeping in the water. Every day crime is at the I mean everything is wrong in Cape Town, and yet DA is in charge of the city and he's portraying themselves as the only good governing organization in this country. So he's doing everything that the DA is doing in other parts of the country.
Just a last question on this then. How can you assure us, Mr. Nyhontso, that the Council of Johannesburg is still operating? Residents still want to know that those who were voted in, despite this ousting of the Speaker, that everything is continuing as normal. We can't wait for decisions to be made so that Council can and should continue. How long is this going to take?
No, that one depends on the councillors in that municipality, but we are sure that whatever the councillors are doing from all these parties that support the motion and that removed the speaker, they will know that the service delivery must be at the center of everything. They will know that the residents of Johannesburg must be serviced. They will know that it must be a quick process in order for the residents not to panic and end up doing havoc in the city. We hope so, and we're also warning the mayor of Joburg, if she's also continuing with what the other DA racists are doing, she will get the same motion and go.
I'll leave this actually as my last question, Mr. Nyhontso, if you don't mind. Who would you like to see as the council speaker, if it was up to you only?
If it was up to me only, definitely the council speaker was going to be PEC, if it was up to me only. But unfortunately, it's not up to me. These things are discussed. People must talk. The governance must come out of the decision from the parties who are there, where we also take note that the numbers do not favor us. But as long as we have influence, as long as we are playing our part in terms of taking service delivery to our people, I'm happy.
Well, I appreciate your time, President of the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, Mr. Mzwanele Nyhontso, joining us here off the back of the council speaker being voted out.